Hey everybody, I just want to do a short video on how entrepreneurs can see themselves the way investors see them. And that's a good thing if you're trying to raise money. And it's also good even if you're not trying to raise money because most entrepreneurs, they start a business and they work in that business and they don't really see the value they're creating from the perspective of an investor. And this actually leads them to make uh, less than optimal decisions with their time and their money. And so the result of that can be excessive work and bad decisions, right? So we want to avoid that. And so when you see how an investor sees you and you see your own company through those eyes, it really does change the way you plan. And I think that's a good thing. We've already covered in the other videos, like just because you see yourself like an investor doesn't mean you're going to start abusing nature, abusing your staff. Those are two separate issues. People who abuse nature and abuse their staffs, they're just abusive people. And they happen to be in business. So you're in business, you're a vegan entrepreneur, you're making the world a better place, you're making a great workplace for your staff, and you're doing everything you can to minimize and even restore the vitality to the environment. All right, well, now that I've laid that out, here's what I'm really talking about. Most entrepreneurs have heard of the pitch deck. And as I said, we're going to start looking at the pitch deck and the story that that tells. And there's also some concentration on the idea of financial projections, and those are definitely an area of mystery for most entrepreneurs. And one thing very few people talk about is just having your books in order. Like any investor of any real experience is going to want to see your books. And having your books really up to date at the spur of the moment, always at your fingertips, is something that an investor will really appreciate. Because in those books is a story. It's a story about your company. That's where they're looking to see how you think financially. Numbers are just words about a certain set of concepts. When you think about it that way, you realize it's like, wow, I should really pay attention to these books. So that's really raising money. Again, it's these two stories: a story about your vision and what you're going to do for animals, in this case, as a vegan entrepreneur, what you're doing for people and the planet through your business, how your business is a way of achieving those goals. And then the thing runs on numbers. It runs on actually having a positive cash flow, right? If you don't grow as a company, if you don't run that company well, then you won't be able to fulfill your vision. So those two things do need to work together in a nice way so that the investor can see really what you're aiming for and that you have some integrity, some consistency between your verbal story about what you're doing and your story in numbers. So that's my short lesson for today. And I hope you'll put any questions you have about this down below. If there's topics you want me to touch on, let me know. Usually these videos get drawn from my mentoring sessions, and right now I'm dealing with some books from one of the entrepreneurs in our system. And it's so funny because actually this entrepreneur really didn't realize how great her business is. And I think by not really paying as much attention to the books as she might, she kind of lost sight of just what a fantastic entrepreneur she is. So it's very exciting. And I wrote a letter saying, look, when I read your books, I see a gold mine in there. And yes, we just need to maybe shore it up a little bit so we can get the gold out. And that's why I find books, that's what inspired me to make this video. It's like so fun to think about just how great these people are that I'm working with and what they're doing and what they're going to do for the animals and for people on the planet. So thanks for watching, and Talk to you in the next video.